Morning. We're supposed to have a few days of pretty nice weather. Although this morning is a little bit cooler and not quite as sunny as it's promised. So I'm hoping to get this here all repaired, or rebuilt rather than repaired. It's a little bit, well, I mean, look at it, it's falling down. And the only reason this is not completely on the floor is because I've wedged some timbers up on that side. So this is all fallen down. So today we're going to be making some panels. I've got Travis Perkins' delivery arriving on Wednesday, Thursday, and that's the sheet material for all of this. But I've got enough timber to make the framework for it. Got to mow this back, otherwise I'm going to be wading through the forest to do it. But there's a huge stone. I've done this path here. There's a big stone here, which means I can't get the big mower through here unless I move that. But now I'm looking at it, it's bigger than I thought, and the strimmer cord snapped yesterday. So I've got to try and solve that. I also want to mow a path to a really nice piece of, there's like a log that's fallen down or been laid across the stream over there. So I'd like to make a path from there over to it so that we can get there easily. Had a bit of a clear out at the weekend, or as best I can. It probably still looks a tip to you guys because I know it's slightly clearer, but that's only because I know where all the mess is. Burnt all my cardboard and a lot of offcuts of timber that I'd set aside for burning. I'm going to try and keep as much of it as I can because I think some of it's dug fir, because I tried screwing a screw in and it just wouldn't go in, which makes me think it's not a hardwood, but it must be dog fir rather than pine. But we had a good fire, set the bonfire in. It's still smouldering, as you can see, so I'm just going to sort of stir it up a bit, move this bit of timber in here, try and make it burn through a bit, and then we'll scrape the moss off the concrete so that we've got something to make the panels, and then we'll start making the panels. It's nice to have soil that's soft enough to just be able to stab a fork in. But we were before, there was so much iron ore in the soil and bricks and rubble, and it's quite a built up area that you couldn't just stick a fork in the ground like that. It would hit all the stones below, and it does mean that it's so soft that if you sit in these, the legs sink right into the ground. So perhaps it's a good thing in some ways, and means it's quite difficult to sit in a chair in others. We didn't realise it, but Scotland's got this really great free childcare service that it offers, which is a godsend, because I don't know how we do all this and look after Casper all the time, but just lock him in the car, keep the windows open so he doesn't die. We don't really leave him in there all day. He's a free range chicken, not a battery hen. I thought that'd be easier. It was, the concrete's really rough, so it didn't quite come up as well as I thought, but I have done it before in the wet. I thought the dry would be the easiest way to do it, but it seems like the wet might be a bit easier because it turns a bit slushy and can peel off a bit better. But I've got a bit of it cleared. I'll just wait until it's rained to do the rest. Got this book, How to Read a Tree, by somebody, and I keep going around and highlighting all these odd trees we've got around here with other species growing out of it and all sorts. It's got all these really great bits in it about how trees form. I'm trying to find pictures, there's not much use me showing you. Yeah, well, anyway, it's a really interesting book to show, well, for me anyway, to read how the trees all form. I mean, I looked at this bit last night, and those trees over there, the pines, I call them pines, they're spruce. From this, it says that mind you, I don't know if this, yeah, because pine and fir and spruce are different species. I have heard of hemlock, but I'm not au fait with hemlock. Don't really know. It's pine, obviously, from the way it's drawn. But the trees over there, some of them go all the way to the bottom, some of them don't. None of them are pine, because that's easy to tell. Because Scots pine just looks lovely. They look like timber made for a logging company. But I wonder if perhaps this book's eventually going to tell me, because some of them go all the way to the bottom and some don't. But that's perhaps because they're inside the crop of trees, which means maybe they're not getting enough light to go all the way down. But yeah, this is my current lunchtime reading. Try and help me. There's a lot of things to learn here when you move to a new environment. Look, I've got that book on rocks, and I've got the book on trees, and I've got the book on mushrooms, and I've always had a little bit of an interest in them, but now it just gives you a chance to really explore it. Oh, there's a postman with a big parcel. Got to go see what that is. One sentence talking about being all natural with trees and mushrooms and stones, and on the other hand, I've got 400 Amazon parcels being delivered. That one's for my wife. That one is for me. Oh, that's the heater tube. A friend of mine recommended some diesel heaters, which are a really cost-effective way of heating spaces. And because we've got the utility room, and we've got the caravan, and we've got the workshop and all sorts, I've got a couple more. So we've got one. They're really great, but they don't do huge spaces very well. So I've got a couple more arriving, and I've got some extra tube. I'll show you all that in another video, because that's not really relevant right now. And we've got another box. What's in this one? Got solar panels arriving soon, so there's a chance some of this might be nappies, a book on mummy stuff, and baby bed sheets. So it's not much fun. Okay, but we get Amazon here. We don't actually get Amazon delivery like we did back at home, but we get Royal Mail are really good. They bring us everything. We were a bit worried about getting stuff off the internet delivered, and because we always need some obscure connector, cable, pipe, join, all that kind of stuff, tool blade, they're the stuff you can't really pick up that easily, and the nearest Screwfix is an hour and a half away. Screwfix delivers, but sometimes Amazon's, you just need something weird, Amazon's the best place to get it. So I was a bit concerned about that, but I had to apologise to the postman, because I was like, you're probably going to have a whole van's worth for us nearly every day. But there we go. I've done all cleaning up. I might try and start that strimmer without a strimmer cord. I'm not sure if you can bump start a strimmer, but we'll have a go and see if we can't get that grass cut back. We've got this security thing that came with the quad bike that's some kind of tracking to stop it being nicked. But it's so sensitive that if you breathe on it, they phone you, text you, email you, and then accuse you of stealing it, even though they've called you. So it's like, I can't go near it without the key, and if the key's in the caravan and the boy wants to play on it, you end up with all these accusational phone calls with not that they're phoning you, right? So you're not going to be stealing it. You have to go through all the security, but they phone it. It's really good, because every time it moves, we get an alert, which is like several times a day. But it means if it ever did get stolen, I'd know as it's being stolen. But it means you've got to be super vigilant, diligent. You've always got to have the key on you, otherwise even taking the cover off sets the motion sensor off. So yeah, really great service, but not great when you've got a 2-year-old who just runs out and beelines straight for the quad bike to have a go. So yeah. Well, that job wasn't meant to be. Just redid it all, and then it snapped on the first pull again. Further down, but the string looks fine. It's always been a bit tight, like the engine seems like it doesn't quite want to turn over. And we bought it back for the block of flats we finished back where we used to live. And it was designed really for doing the edges of a very, very small piece of grass that was probably no bigger than that edge there. It was just, we had a tiny piece of edging grass around the building, and we bought it just to tidy up the edge. So It's probably not really, well, it's not up to this anyway, but I don't know why it snapped again. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna have to think about something else. All right, so even though the strimmer didn't work, I'm still in the mood to mow, so I'm gonna try and get this rock out here. I say rock, it's like a boulder. I'm not even sure I'm gonna be able to get this out of here. In fact, I'm almost sure. Oh, let's just have a go. I'm pretty sure the temperature today is 1,000,000 degrees. At least. I saw a piece of metal melt earlier. That's how hot it is. Maybe I'll just the mower goes quite high, but this is on an angle and don't think it goes quite that high, quite high enough. I'm going to end up skimming the top and killing all the blades, so just want to get it done. I'll find the strimmer place, a new strimmer or a bigger strimmer, you know, that'll work on this kind of stuff is like a week away, and yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll have to reconsider that. Still, I'm going to do the mowing. I'm going to do the mowing down there, like I said, that's the bit over there with the, where is it? There, with the log. We'll do that bit, and perhaps while I'm doing that I'll have an idea on this rock. Alright, so I've changed my shirt to a thinner shirt, the other one was a bit woolly for this weather, and I've had a cup of tea, and I think we're just going to have a break in the shade for a few minutes just to cool back down. I'm going to collect some of this, which is pine, I don't know if it's called pine sap or what, but it's the, let's see if we can find a spot. Oh, look at that. It's the stuff that I think they try and fake the fragrance for, you know, those cheap, horrible car fragrances. But if you burn it just under a candle, it releases the proper aroma. I haven't actually managed to get any successfully because I tried back home to collect some, but didn't have the luxury of pine trees. Well, I did have a few, but not as many as here, and you have to have them naturally wounded. You could stab a knife or something in them, which is not, don't do that. I mean, you could, but you're just wounding the tree for the sake of your lovely smelling living room, and that's not fair trade, is it? But in instances like this where it's already damaged, it's good to collect. You don't want the runny stuff like that, as far as I understand it. You want the sort of white crystalline stuff. The runny stuff's just super sticky. So, and you want to put it in a pot, otherwise you're going to get really, really sticky, because this is that stuff that, as I understand it, this is like the scab on a wound of a tree. So you don't want to go collecting it all, because you're kind of opening the wound again for the tree. But I'm trying to find some chunks that look like they're naturally, you can see the wounds just there. And I'm about to try and take some bits off the side. Oh, that's like a good bit. Got a bit of tree in it, but I mean, that's probably enough. Got 3 bits there. I'm gonna try that tonight and see. My wife keeps saying it smells lovely here, and I know it smells lovely because to me it smells like nothing. She has a finer sense of smell than me, I think, so she can, and hearing, and everything else probably. But she says it smells like pine here, and I can't quite pick up on it. I've still got that cold that I said I was getting over, so perhaps it's got something to do with it. But I'm going to try burning this and see if it does smell as nice as it did, as nice as she says it does. This is also where we're going to be collecting our water. I don't know how many times I've said that in videos. This is where we're going to collect our water. It keeps changing, but this bit is likely to be the place we collect our water. It's quite dry, everything else is quite dry at the minute. The river's gone as low as we've seen it, but there's still a good pool of water there and it's flowing, which means it's not stagnant. So that's where we're going to do that. Right, now we're a bit cooler. I think I'm going to stop being a baby and we'll just go and move that rock. Yeah, the reason I was considering making fire logs out of paper and cardboard recycling is because they say it burns hotter than the wood does, and when you put a part of cardboard on a fire you really feel the heat difference. I would have said that wood, because it's denser, would do a better job at burning, but it really doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like cardboard, perhaps it burns hotter because it burns quicker, perhaps the energy is released faster. Just hanging around while I've lobbed it on to make sure the grass doesn't all set on fire. I've got a bucket of water over there somewhere. It's kind of slowly crackling away, it's nothing too big. Oh, we do have a little bit of fire on the grass. There we go. I think what I'm going to do is dig us around the edge. I'm going to sort of, so that we've got an earth pile. I'm sure stuff will start to grow on that eventually, but it feels like a secondary barrier against the stones. Probably only going to be a problem at this time of year, which is quite rare from the, well, I don't know, I always thought Scotland was proper rainy, and when we've been here it's just been glorious sunshine the whole time. So perhaps it's a bit of a myth that it's terrible weather in Scotland. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be our bonfire pile, so I want to be able to use it and not burn the whole hill down like I said last time. I hate admitting defeat, but this thing is pretty sure it goes at least a mile underground, maybe 2. I'm at the risk of spending the whole day just getting one rock out, so I'm going to reverse the mower up to it, and then I'm going to reverse it up the other way and just get the rest all mown. I'm trying to get it mown so I can get access to this, because if I'm redoing it all, I don't want to be wading through all that, so. Well, it finally happened. We went over some wire from one of the fences and it's coiled around the underneath. Pulled most of it out, but I think we're going to have to tip this up to get the rest out. It's kind of coiled around the prop shaft. So I've got the kill switch engaged, as in off. Got the fuel off, so I reckon it's as safe as it's going to get to put your hands in here. This is what one of these looks like underneath. It's got these like hammers that, as it spins, it chops through the grass, and that's where the wire's got coiled, and that side there. I wonder if you can turn it with a spanner or something. I don't really want to get my hands in there and start turning it over. Maybe if we get a bit of wood. God, so you know when you're trying to be safe and the thing just will not. deciding if I want to lose my whole arm or just my hand. Right now it's probably the whole arm. Ugh. Wow. Well, this is the bit that I was trying to get to, have successfully got to. The mower tangled up the cable just there, so it's only that tiny little bit that I stopped the engine for. But this is the, I realise it's not actually a bridge all the way across because it stops, so it's probably not quite suitable for Casper yet. I've been wrestling with some of that fencing. It's all grown into the ground and I want to make sure I get all of the bottom pieces, otherwise I'll have another episode where it tangles up the mower. But trying to clear, they've fenced off both sides. All the prettiest bits of the site are all inaccessible, or not easily accessible by Casper and us when we just want to go for a wander. But it's really pretty down here. Got lots of logs that I think they must have chopped it down because of the pylons that come through here, through this gap, and it seems like they felled the trees that are just where it was. So nice little bit though, once I got rid of that wire. Didn't think today was going to be a day just full of me huffing and puffing and not getting all that much successfully done. I thought it'd be more of a get lots done day, but seems to be the way it is at the moment here. There's a lot of bits and bobs and I'm not used to the workflow, so it's all a bit new to me. In the next one, which will be tomorrow, I'm going to be clearing out the end of that workshop bit. Hopefully I'll get some panels made to be constructing the new section. The diesel heaters arrived later on today, so maybe we'll have a look at those. Probably get the cob bike stuck somewhere like we seem to be doing quite regularly. And other odds and sods like that. So if this is the kind of stuff you like watching, come join us. We'll see you in the next one. Hopefully it'll be a big productive day. No, it won't, will it? We won't get anything done.